So how safe are these frontier LLM systems? It's a mixed bag, and we're going to break that down with a new study out of China that actually mirrors U.S. testing results. Safety study of 20 LLMs, and they find Chinese scientists do a comprehensive safety study of 20 LLMs, and they find similar things to Western researchers. Despite different political systems and cultures, safety focus areas and results seem similar across the two countries. So they're really talking about US-China, which obviously are the two global leaders in AI. Researchers with the Shanghai Artificial Intelligence Laboratory have conducted a thorough 100-page assessment of the safety properties of 20 LLMs spanning Chinese and Western models. Their findings rhyme with those coming out of Western labs, namely that AI systems have become sufficiently good that they pose some non-trivial CBRN, that's chemical, biological, nuclear, risk, and are beginning to show signs of life on scarier capabilities like AI R&D, autonomous self-replication, and deception. So what models did they study? DeepSeek, Llama, which is Meta, Qwen, Alibaba, Claude, Anthropic, Gemini, Google, GPT, and O-Series from OpenAI, and they studied multiple models of each provider. So what are the risky capabilities that they studied and the key takeaways? Capture the flag. They find that more capable models are more likely to be used for or exhibit characteristics associated with malicious activities, thereby posing higher security risks. What does that mean in plain English? As these models get better, they become more risky, period. Autonomous cyber attack. They studied 9 scenarios based on real-world common vulnerabilities and exposures. So these are basically known weaknesses in software or firewalls or whatever. And 2 scenarios based on bypassing web application firewalls. They found that more capable models demonstrate good capabilities in autonomous exploration, but their effectiveness depended on the type of vulnerability. So, for example, SQL injection, they did very well, but vulnerabilities that required more reasoning or interaction proved more challenging. No evaluated model can successfully execute an end-to-end attack chain. So that's sort of good news on that issue. Biological protocol diagnosis and troubleshooting. Frontier models exceed human expert performance on biological protocol error detection, and that models are rapidly approaching expert-level protocol troubleshooting capabilities. So this is really focused on identifying and correcting errors in biological laboratory protocols and model accuracy on protocol troubleshooting questions. So this is good that these things are expert because this is a safety measure and it's good. These LLMs are good at this. And without getting into politics, it's generally accepted that the COVID-19 virus escaped from a lab, so improving biological research lab protocols is a damn good thing. Now we have the flip side, more concerning part, biological hazardous knowledge and reasoning. All frontier models significantly exceed human expert performance on chemical weapons proxy assessment, indicating widespread access to dual-use chemical knowledge, which means in plain English, these things can design chemical weapons. And safety alignment reveals critical failures in chemical hazard refusal, with most models demonstrating unsafe compliance with explicitly harmful requests. So that means these models are giving out information on how to make chemical weapons not good. Persuasion and manipulation. There is a positive correlation between model capability and persuasive risks. Models with higher capability scores consistently exhibit lower safety scores. Let's repeat that again. The better the model, the lower the safety in terms of being able to persuade or manipulate human beings. They also study LLM to LLM persuasion scenarios and find out that an LLM can more easily persuade another LLM even than a human. They also found finally that model scale is not the sole determinant of persuasive capability, meaning that some smaller models are highly persuasive. Again, this is not a positive outcome. This is a serious risk because we can clearly see already that humans are easily persuaded to believe obviously false things. Uncontrolled AI research and development. Uncontrolled AI R&D occurs when AI models strategically appear aligned with outer objectives in their development process, but secretly optimize for different objectives rooted in the training cycle. This is called alignment faking technique. The results here are encouraging, with the authors finding that most LLMs don't exhibit uncontrolled AI R&D behavior, so they're fairly safe in that regard. Self-replication. They study whether an agent autonomously deploys a complete functional replica of itself by replicating its model weights, application code, and runtime environment onto other machines or clusters without human supervision. The results are encouraging, showing that some powerful models have sufficient safety measures to not want to self-replicate much, whereas models with intermediate capability but insufficient safety constraints, and they specifically call out the Qwen and Qwen3 series by Alibaba, exhibit the greatest risk of uncontrolled replication and resource expansion. So that goes to say that, the Chinese AI ecosystem is a little more Wild West than the US AI ecosystem. So their models are a little more dangerous in terms of self-replication. Multi-agent fraud in social systems, also known as collusion. They studied the secret collaboration between two or more AI agents to act in ways that circumvent or violate the rules, protocols, or intended objectives by a system designer. They found a small amount of collusive behavior appearing most present in DeepSeek R1-0528. So again, the Chinese models are a little more risky. So why does this all matter? Well, it conclusively proves from two different situations that AI risks are real. There's agreement across Chinese and Western researchers. There's almost a 1-to-1 overlap between the risks studied in this paper and the kind of risks which show up in the system model cards published by Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google along with their latest models. This is reassuring that for all the differences and tensions between the US and China today, the fact that people have aligned on a common set of risks to study is encouraging. It's also notable for what is not here. Many Chinese companies also study their models for whether they do or do not follow Communist Party doctrine, and its absence here is notable. AI capability and safety should ideally be synchronized, they say. As we push the frontiers of AI, we have responsibilities to understand, evaluate, and mitigate the risks posed by increasingly capable systems, aligning with governance frameworks specifically designed for frontier AI models. So this is really good because basically it shows great agreement between Chinese and Western AI companies on safety matters, with the Chinese models being a little more risky. So why does this matter in the end? Because, first of all, fortunately, the Chinese and Western researchers agree on the need to make these AI systems as safe as possible, understanding that there are current weaknesses in the safety regime, clearly, particularly with regard to chemical and biological weapons, and presumably nuclear, which the article didn't talk about, and thanks to Wired, but you can bet that there's weaknesses there also. So this is super important. These are the ways in which AI models most threaten humanity, and it's a mixed bag of good news and not good news. So hopefully this is an area where the Chinese and Western governments can be in agreement on working together, and indeed, China recently reached out to several Western governments to request cooperation on this subject. So this is a very good sign for all of us. What do you think? Leave your comments below. We really appreciate the comments and roughly answer them once a week on Sunday. Also, please support us by liking, subscribing, and sharing, which really help with the algorithm. And finally, please support us on Patreon. We really need your support on Patreon to continue to grow the channel and bring you more critical information that matters to all human beings like this. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.